Quick about Hurricane Matthew, because it's been a big hurricane down in the Caribbean. Now, as far as, of course, the Metroplex, nothing much going on. So let us go on down to down towards the offshore of Venezuela and Colombia. This is basically, let me show you the track. We've had Hurricane Matthew form from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane in about 48 hours. That's been the general track. And as it's been coming just parallel Venezuela and Colombian shoreline, it's still forecast to make this turn up towards Jamaica and Cuba, but it's moving very slow. So what I suspect what we'll see is it threatening Jamaica probably by the time we get to Monday. So over the weekend, it's probably going to be sitting over open water in the Caribbean Sea and kind of maintaining its strength. Right now it's a Category 4 hurricane, but we have seen some effect of this already when it was a Cat 5. This is actually offshore in Colombia, and this is just the big rains that were coming from the southern part of the storm. I mean, the eye of the storm was about 150 miles offshore, so it was quite a ways, but it was creating very strong surf and doing some damage there. So let's talk a little bit about the path of this thing and what we can expect. So here's the history of it. You can see the line of it coming across the Caribbean, Category 1 Thursday afternoon. Spent most of the day as a Category 2. Here it goes again with the animation. There it is as a 5 briefly right there. It was Friday night, last night. Now it's a 4. So as we continue to watch this thing just intensify very rapidly in that 48-hour period, a lot of people were just holding their breath. And down here, there's the shoreline of Venezuela and Colombia, and you can see how close it came. It wasn't that close, but close enough for it to cause the surf damage. So here we are with a Category 4. That's 145-mile-per-hour wind. So this is a major hurricane, and that Cat 5, we haven't had a Cat 5 in the Atlantic since 2007. Okay. It looks like it'll be a Cat 3 as it goes up towards Jamaica, and that's right behind this box, but that's probably going to be Monday morning. I don't know if there'll be a direct hit. Remember, the worst part of the storm is on this side as opposed to this side. This is where the winds are the strongest on the right side of the hurricane. But as it crosses or gets past Jamaica, it'll probably hit Cuba directly. That's Guantanamo Bay right there, by the way, and right now the track has it right over there. And that looks like that'll happen late Monday or Tuesday at its current track and pace. As it goes up into the Bahamas as a Category 2, because Cuba, the higher elevations will weaken a little bit, and I don't know, it'll probably weaken a little and then start to strengthen as it gets a little bit more into this warm water that's on the east side of the Bahama Islands. And then what happens? Well, that's going to be interesting next week, as we have Matthew threatening the East Coast. So let's pick it up again. This is Monday, and you can see it down here in Jamaica, and Jamaica will certainly get a lot of rain from this, but nothing like we expect Cuba will get, because it will get that onslaught of that eastern flank, and we're talking about, you know, maybe 15 inches of rain in some areas. What you see in the wind field here, these are winds that are at least 50 miles per hour and higher. So you can see the effect of the winds will be starting to get into the Bahamas as it's crossing Cuba. And then across the central Bahama island chain, that's where we'll see these very strong winds. Now, here we are on Wednesday. So this is Wednesday of next week. This is a slow-moving storm initially as it crosses Cuba. It'll pick up speed when it gets across the Bahamas. Now, this is one forecast model, okay? This is the GFS model, and it has a little bit closer to the Florida. But I've got a lot of model tracks. Of course, some of them just bring it out onto open ocean. Some of them bring it into Miami. So needless to say, we'll be watching as it crosses the Bahamas. But this GFS has the wind field rather expansive now and affecting the Florida coastline. These are some heavy rains we expect up and down the east coast of Florida from this system. But this is Wednesday, and where it goes from there, it's still forecasted to kind of make that turn along the shoreline and go out into open water, but we'll certainly have to watch it as we get into early next week.